Charlie, there's going to be all kinds of exciting basketball played between IPFW and Kentucky Wesleyan.
Yeah, Dave, this is probably not only one of the biggest games this season, of course, but this is a big game in IPFW history. A chance to get that monkey off our backs. 0-18 against Wesleyan. The history, we had a lot of close games. Tonight's going to be very important. Those last 3 minutes of the game, those 3-minute sections, the first 3 minutes of the game, last 3 minutes of the first half, first 3 minutes of the second half, and of course, the last 3 minutes.
Well, IPFW has a real veteran squad that has been playing exceptionally good basketball these last couple of weeks, so I think they're ready.
Yeah, I think this is a big key. The veteran club, they've been there before, they know what it takes to win, and they're playing very well right now.
So we have no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is it tonight.
Yeah, let's go do it.
This is Dave Skelton with Charlie Washington, and we'll be right back and talk with you later.
After dating the guy forever, you think I could tell him anything. Why is this so hard? I'm really scared.
It takes a lot of guts to tell someone he's too drunk to drive. But you can do it. Just say it. Because if you don't, there may be nothing left to say.
Kevin, I'm gonna drive.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
This is just one of the many parts you can play as a young Red Cross volunteer. Volunteer and play your part.
Talk about unusual. How often do you see transparent televisions?
Americans have more money to spend on leisure activities than ever before.
When possible, children should trick or treat during daylight hours and be accompanied by at least one adult.
A boat, archaeologists believe, is from the time Jesus and his disciples fished on the Galilee.
For best results, fertilize your lawn when it is actively growing.
Many people suffer from allergies. Few understand them.
The tragedy of child abuse takes many forms, from verbal assaults to hurtful blows. But it is preventable, and we all have a role to play. If you know of a parent having difficulty, reach out, sit down and talk. And if you're having difficulty, get help for yourself. Talk to a friend. Sign up for a parenting class. Take time out. Don't take it out on your child.
Contact the National Committee for Prevention of Child Abuse.
I want to be a doctor, a judge, electrical engineer, a chemist, a dentist.
The American dream is alive, nurtured in part by the United Negro College Fund. The fund reaches out to deserving students with a quality education, an education that turns wonderful young dreams into realities.
I want to be president.
And you'll be tough to beat.
Please, support the United Negro College Fund.
What comes to your mind when you think about statistics? Polls, gambling, maybe baseball? Sure, but how about lightning, lobsters, music, chocolate cake, sex discrimination, heart attacks, potato chips, traffic, the ozone layer, Shakespeare, monkeys, dancing, drug testing? If some of these things didn't make your list, then you should be watching Public Television's new statistics series, Against All Odds.
Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say.
The power of teaching.
World won't get no better if we're just
the power to wake up young minds. The power to wake up the world. Teachers have that power. Reach for the power. Teach. I'm Edward James Olmos, and we're recruiting new teachers. Call 1-800-45-TEACH.
I never saw anybody light up a bar like Jack.
You can say that again.
He had a million jokes.
2 million.
Oh, what a riot.
Oh, yeah.
One of a kind.
No kidding.
I swear, if I thought he couldn't drive, I'd have said something. You know? I mean, how could you spoil his fun?
Right. Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Color, space, line, form. These basic elements have been used by painters, sculptors, and architects to create artworks of timeless beauty and value. The Art of the Western World television course examines many of mankind's most enduring achievements and provides you with the key to the language of art.
Good evening and welcome back to the Gates Athletic Center at IPFW, where the excitement level, Charlie, is about as high as it can get as we prepare for this basketball game between Kentucky Wesleyan and IPFW.
There are a lot of excited fans here tonight, Dave.
And that's great. This College Cable Access Sports presentation is underwritten in part by a grant from College Cable Incorporated of Fort Wayne, Indiana. And we're ready for tip-off time.
It was IPFW 15-4, 15-9, 15-9.
And the teams are gathering at midcourt, ready to go. This should be about as good a basketball game, Charlie, as anybody would want to see. Two pretty well matched teams. Record-wise, they're about the same. They just go at you.
It most certainly has been built up to that, and I hope it stands up to that building, Dave.
Doug Ranke gets the tip, and IPFW at first possession. And I'm sure they'd like nothing more than to be able to draw first blood in this game. Andre Walton out at the top. Starting lineup has Andy Liebert, Shane Gibson, Sean Gibson, Doug Ranke. And we have a bad pass in the entry pass into the lane. So Kentucky Wesleyan now with the opportunity to score first.
Very important, Dave, to get over that mental edge that Wesleyan seems to have over the Dons.
And on the third try, the basket is by Carlos Skinner. Carlos is an outstanding rebounder in the GLVC. Is fourth in the conference at 9 rebounds per game, just a shade ahead of Sean Gibson. And Shane pulls up with the short jumper. Followed up by Sean is up and in, so we've got a 2-2 ball game.
Dave, Sean does a great job of using the rim as a defender against the defensive opponent.
He uses everything he can out there and does a great job at it.
Does that reverse layup very often and very proficient with it. Shane Gibson that time with a good rebound.
IPFW again on the attack. 2-2 tie. Andy Liebert on the right wing. Kentucky Wesleyan in a pretty tight man-for-man defense as they are really on Andre Walton out at the top of the key. Looking inside for Sean. Kentucky Wesleyan considered a two-time but couldn't quite get it done. Jumper from the top of the key, in and out by Andre Walton. And again, the rebound by Carlos Skinner.
Don starting off a little slow and a little bit out of sync right now, Dave.
Mark Logson had the ball. He's a good three-point shooter. as is Mike Gray, as is Steve Devine. They do a lot of three-point shooting, and we see that time shoving for position by number 33, Jason Itutis. Jason is a Division I player who transferred to Kentucky Wesleyan this year.
This team traditionally has many players who do that. Being very close to Indiana State and Evansville, a lot of players tend to migrate from those areas.
And we get a 5-second call with advance toward the basket. I'm not so sure, but I guess I don't have to make the call either.
That's somewhat of a discretionary call to the referees, of course, Dave. There has to be some kind of progress, an imaginary plane that has to be broken.
And toward the basket, not just down toward the corner.
Yes.
There's the three put up by Mike Devine. Steve Devine, I'm sorry. IPFW out quickly. Andre Walton with a great move to the basket, and it's blocked by Carlos Skinner. But he took it right to him.
Exactly what you have to do. That's a move that has come one of the main arsenals in Andre Walton's repertoire. But that time, the big guy Skinner just got back and got up for a good block.
So he goes at him again, and this time, Andre's the winner.
And that sends a message, a good message for the Mastodons. Andre Walton not afraid to go in there. Just because your shot is blocked, good thing for young players. That's a big thing with young guys. If you get it blocked, it's going to get blocked again. Go right back in there, right back to it.
Yeah, Andre told Carlos, he says, you got me the first by him, not the second. Go back up, Doug. All right. Nice inside bucket by Doug Reinke. He had to gather his balance, and then he went right back up with it. 6-2, IPFW on the lead.
Great catch.
Yes, it was.
Great catch, first of all, by Doug.
Again, the three-pointer put up, and it's way short. It was tipped, I think, by IPFW, and then thrown away by Carlos Skinner. So the Mastodons putting on pretty good pressure on their man-to-man defense.
And very important, the Dons off to a good start. It's slow, but comparatively speaking, good start. Up 6-2 in the first 3 minutes of this basketball game.
And the tempo has been fairly fast, but yet when they've had to set up their half-court offense, both teams have been perfectly willing to do so. And we see a foul called on Jason Itutis as he attempts to fight through the pick set by Shane Gibson for brother Sean.
And that's two quick ones.
And Jason Itutis was very instrumental, Charlie, in Kentucky Wesleyan's last-second victory against IPFW about a month ago down in Owensboro, Kentucky. He came in, was playing the second game with the Panthers after having transferred, and give them a big lift. He really played tremendous, as you see the turnover on the inbounds pass.
And Skinner has just displayed some lift in this early stages of this basketball game. He can get up.
And again, they didn't give him a free shot at the basket, and so he had to go after it. Doug Reinke will draw the foul, I think. Yes, it is. So Carlos will go to the line to shoot two.
Not a bad foul. You can't let Skinner think he can do whatever he wants to down in the paint. That's a good message to send to him, saying you can't shoot the ball over and whenever you want to.
That's right. Kentucky Wesleyan is second in the conference in free throw shooting percentage, 73%, as we see Carlos canned the first and now ready to attempt the second. And he gets a nice roll. 6-4, 16 minutes left here in the first half. Good pressure put on by Steve Devine out in front for the Panthers of Kentucky Wesleyan. Second time this week we've seen purple uniforms in the gymnasium. Tuesday night the Dons were very successful against Goshen College in their purple uniforms. So purple, the color purple won't bother us at all. And again, Andre Walton going inside as he puts up the shot, draws the foul against Steve Devine.
There's a good trap by Wesleyan over in not quite the corner that time, and a great pass. Great as we see the post up there, the trap, Then a great pass that time by Sean Gibson, and the foul. Andre Walton, again, so strong down low. Again, probably the second best post player on the Dons team.
You're right. 2 new faces into the Panther lineup. And Andre hits the first. Herb Arnerson is in for Kentucky Wesleyan, number 12, and as is number 4, Willis Cheney. In fact, Arneson is the young man who hit the desperation three-pointer at the end of the game a month ago to beat the Dons down at Kentucky Wesleyan.
And then watching the replay of that game, it wasn't so much a desperation shot, Dave. It was a pretty well set up play, and he just drained it.
As he did just before the end of the first half. He hit one just like it in that ball game. His only 2 shots of the night.
And he's been around for a while, savvy player. And that's what they'll give to you, big shots like that.
Good defense by the Don, lots of pressure. Mike Gray made a quick move toward the basket. Shane Gibson guilty of a foul, a little bit of a push on the drive.
That's that play, Dave. The offensive player gets a half step, and once you get that half step, you duck the shoulder down, and it's very hard for a decent defensive player to get around, and more times than not, it's going to be a foul.
Can't catch up with you. Carlos Skinner on the turnaround jumper that falls short. Neat rebound by Sean Gibson. Scott Simmons is into the lineup for IPFW. Scott's been playing very well here lately. Been scoring extremely well. Doug Ranke got caught in a trap and just couldn't get rid of the ball. Couldn't find anything to do with it. He got caught in a turnover.
I think that's something that I've said about Doug for a few years. Very good player, contributes well to the IPFW cause, but then sometimes his body readiness sometimes is not where I think it should be.
Yeah, I think his best moves are his quicker moves. When he stops and thinks about it, then he gets in trouble.
If you get down, get your body ready, I think some of those moves will come out a lot stronger, and in that case, it would have worked out to the advantage of the Mastodons.
14 and a half minutes to go here in the first half. Relatively slow scoring pace, but a very well played game. IPFW pressures again, and the pressure by Andre Walton caused Mike Gray.
Great play. Sometimes you just run out of player. That's pressure enough. Andre Walton probably could not ever block that young man's shot, but just running at him caused enough distraction to cause him to run him into that travel.
We also have Pat Murphy into the ballgame now for IPFW, replacing Doug Reinke. Pat played very well against Southern Indiana Thursday night.
And Pat's style of play would probably be more effective against Skinner.
As you see right there, he goes strong to the basket. And Carlos Skinner thought he had a clean block. That's hard to do and not make any contact at all.
Exactly. And the point I was just about to make is true to point right there. Quick move by Murphy. Murphy gets the ball and goes hard and strong to the basket as soon as he gets it, as opposed to maybe a Ranke takes a little longer time and gives Skinner a chance to get up and block that shot cleanly.
That's Skinner's first foul as Pat Murphy shoots 2 and he misses the first.
He missed that one pretty badly.
If he'd have made it, he should have called it off the glass. Looks like we're having... And then we have some free throw shooting difficulties also.
In addition to our technical
difficulties. So if you stay with us, we'll try to keep you abreast of the game until our picture is restored. Kentucky Wesleyan is to inbound the ball underneath the IPFW basket. Corey Parr is in the ball game now for the Panthers. Corey had a severely broken nose about a month ago, so he's wearing a mask.
The new style mask that we see so many players at all levels displaying, the clear mask. Started by the first I saw it was Dave Lambier. Bill Lambier, excuse me, of the Pistons.
And we have a number 25 in the lineup also for Kentucky Wesleyan, Rafe Young. Well, we're keeping Kentucky Wesleyan right where we want them, Charlie, off of the scoreboard in any massive extent so far, but we need to pick up the pace maybe a little bit on the IPFW end.
Sure, in terms of sending, we won those, I would say, those first 3 minutes of the game, the opening moments of the game, but we need to send a clearer message right now.
that time on the turnover by Kentucky Wesleyan was almost as though the defense read the eyes of the quarterback ready to throw the pass. Three-pointer goes up from the corner, rebounded by Andre Walton. Tony Martin is also in the IPFW lineup now. Pass inside, and again, IPFW having a little bit of turnover trouble, but the defense is ferocious.
And former IPFW player Willie Miller also into the ball game. I don't know if this is jitters, pregame jitters, good defense or what, but both teams very slow right now.
And Andre Walton breaks the ice for the Dons. Nice little jumper in the lane. 10-4, I'm sorry. 10-4, the Mastodons in the lead. 12 and a half minutes to go here in the first half. Yeah, Kentucky Wesleyan has tried practically their whole lineup to try to find someone to hit the basket.
Don's playing very good defense.
Three-pointer by Scotty Simmons. Big rebound by Sean Gibson, up and in. And credit Pat Murphy with keeping the ball alive as this crowd comes alive, and Kentucky Wesleyan says we need a timeout.
Exactly. Sean Gibson got that basket, but as you stated, a great tap of keeping the ball alive that time by Pat Murphy. He should get an assist, but obviously
right.
he won't.
Well, we'll give him one. As you see the score there, 12-4, IPFW in the lead. The College Cable Access Program Guide provides information about our programming, including IPFW sports telecasts. To receive your free Channel 6 guide, send your name, address, and zip code to Channel 6 at IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, with a zip code of 46805. Or call us at 481-6582. And for once, Charlie, the crowd in this gymnasium that is making the most noise is our crowd, the IPFW crowd. They're keeping the Wesleyan group, which is pretty large, somewhat subdued at the moment.
Yeah, usually Wesleyan every year brings 2 bus loads in addition to those who drive on their own here. Very big IPFW crowd here. This is great excitement. The fans are looking for that first win against the Panthers, and they've not been disappointed thus far.
Andre Walton getting a rest as Russ Martinick now is in for IPFW. Will be at the point guard position. Number 25 takes a big three, and he's one who likes to take it, Rafe Young. Wesleyan likes the three-pointer.
And that's what you want out of a timeout. You come back and you hit a big three-pointer right off for a design play.
IPFW moving the ball. Tony Martin into Sean Gibson. Sean makes a strong move to the basket, and he's hacked along the way. Probably going to be called on number 12, Herb Arnerson. And it is. That's the 15th team foul.
See the drive coming up here.
And if Arnerson hadn't drawn the foul, I think Willie Miller would have.
Yes, he would have.
Some of the Wesleyan fans are finding this a little hard to take here at the moment that their team's behind.
Well, they've been spoiled for so many years. This is a team that has rich tradition behind it. I think the last national championship that they won was, I believe, in 1990.
90 or 91.
Yeah, 90 or 91. They won it in 87, and a few years before that, 5 national championships in Division II basketball. Definitely cream of the crop, definitely tradition-wise.
Not too shabby, is it?
Not too shabby.
But IPFW has been competing with them just toe-to-toe for the last 3 or 4 years, Charlie. Another three is going up, and it misses. Willie Miller crashed the board that time and must have knocked the ball off of an IPFW player.
Yes, Wesleyan crashing the board very hard, as you see on the replay here. First could have been an over the back. Good action, though.
And I think we're going to have to be very aware of the three-point line out here because Wesleyan's going to want to use that. There they go. Mike Gray, number 20. And Mike is third in the conference in three-point shooting percentage. Hits them at about 41%. Score 12-10, IPFW in the lead. And here's a chance for them to get one of those threes back, but it doesn't fall. Wesleyan with the rebound, trying to quickly push the ball up the court. And Andy Liebert that time got behind and just couldn't keep up.
Again, that play, you get around that corner, you get a step or even a half step on a defensive player, duck that shoulder. Not very much they can do, not much the referee can do, even if there's just incidental contact.
Andre Walton back into the game for IPFW. Carlos Skinner back in for the Panthers. And Doug Ranke about to enter.
That timeout by Coach Wayne Boltinghouse looking very big right now. Since that timeout, 2 big three-pointers by the Panthers, and they're right back in the game, 12-10.
Settled things down considerably there, yeah. And it looks like Michael Gray is coming up a little lame on that play. Something's sore at the moment.
Andy Liebert picks up 2 fouls within about 5 or 6 seconds or so.
Very quickly. And then Rafe Young will go to the free throw line.
Scott Simmons before Wayne. Name plate number 30, Liebert.
And we're at 7 unanswered points since that timeout by Coach Boltinghouse.
But they have not been able to tie the game up yet, and the Mastodons need to come down now and get their offense cranking. Shane Gibson in the lane, hits the basket and is fouled, and it's a great move down the lane.
And you got to have that tonight out of Shane. Shane has to score. They're going to pay particularly big attention to Andre Walton and also Sean Gibson. So Shane has to step up.
Number 12, Herb Arnerson, not too happy with that foul call, but that's the way the game goes, and it's part of the game. And Shane Gibson hits the free throw to complete the three-point play. IPFW back to a 4-point lead, 15-11. 9.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Both teams playing very hard, and Kentucky Wesleyan wanting that three-point shot and getting their third one.
That's a recognition problem right there. You know he can shoot it. He's proven it once here tonight. You got to get better pressure on that shot.
And the defense, the offense by Kentucky Wesleyan not having that much success down in tight, so we could afford to cover that three-point land just a little bit more and make them beat us inside.
But what can happen is that might open it up on the inside. He keeps sticking those.
But they've got so many different guys that'll take it that it can come from anywhere.
It's a foul on former IPFW player Willie Miller. Get a good look at Miller out of Gary, Indiana. Gary Westside High School product.
And IPFW is going to have to step up there tonight and hit those free ones. As Sean does on number 1, he'll get the second one here.
I think that could prove very big tonight. Dons haven't shot very well as a team from the free throw line. Sean shooting a little bit over 70%.
He gets 1 of 2 there.
But the free throw line may and probably will be where the game is won tonight.
Could be critical at the end. Good hustle by Andre Walton as he knocks the ball out of bounds. Shot clock will not be reset. And Willis Cheney will inbound the ball for the Panthers of Kentucky Wesleyan. Mike Gray looking for the three-point jumper again. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, no call. And a long bomb by Rafe Young.
That's his second one. There's not much you can do about that. That was an NBA three-point shot, and you don't expect anyone to pull up. And reminiscent of one of our old players, Eric Vaughn.
You're right. And we just had a rather careless inbound play so that Kentucky Wesleyan got the ball right back. Rafe Johnson now inside. And there's a foul against Kentucky Wesleyan, and it's either on Carlos Skinner or Willie Miller.
I think it's on Miller.
Miller?
And it's probably a break for the Panthers. They'd much rather have that foul on Miller than on Skinner.
Carlos.
They can ill afford losing a player like Skinner.
Doug's been shooting his free throws pretty well here lately.
Yes.
Corey Parr back into the lineup for Kentucky Wesleyan. Mask and all.
You spoke of Ranky's good free throw shooting. He's shooting just about at a 90% clip, hitting his last 16 out of 18
That's
in a six-game span.
So Doug eyes the first one, and it's too hard off the back of the rim. No good.
I think we jinxed him.
Could be. Carlos Skinner with the rebound and off to Willis Cheney. 17-16, Kentucky Wesleyan in their first lead here tonight. And again, quickly the three-point shot goes up, and it came off of the iron so quickly that nobody was aware except for Kentucky Wesleyan. Carlos Skinner came up with the ball. Willis Cheney knocks the ball out of bounds on the quick outlet pass by IPFW.
Well, there's been a couple of times the big fella Skinner's been in the right place at the right time, and the ball just kind of fell right into his hands off the rim.
Fell right at his feet that time. Nice pass by Andre Walton. And Doug Ranky went up strong, and there was no way Carlos could get balance quick enough to try to stop that.
It's a good move by Doug. You still like to see him get the crowd into the basketball game and dunk that ball, Dave.
Yes. Again, the three-pointer goes up. They're going to live or die by that thing tonight, Charlie.
There are a lot of teams that do. Team down in Lexington doesn't do too bad with it.
Yeah, same on the same side of the Ohio River. Sean Gibson, deep left corner, drives the left baseline, puts the ball up. Reverse layup using that basket again as the shield, as you had indicated earlier, Charlie.
And that's a big-time move.
IPFW back in the lead at 2019.
Big-time move by the preseason All-American candidate, Sean Gibson.
Sean's having a good year. Somehow we can't get a stop in underneath Kentucky Wesleyan's basket without a foul being called. Mike Gray will go to the line.
And this Wesleyan team, Dave, not the talent that we've seen in the past, but playing very well and able to recognize when they aren't shooting the ball well from outside to get it down inside. And they're doing well crashing the boards also, which is a reason for some of those inside shots.
And they do have a lot of depth, even though, as you say, they don't have a superstar, as Mike Gray hits the first one to tie the game at 20. 6:35 left here in the first half.
I can remember some players from Wesleyan, Dave, that got looks from NBA teams, a lot of CBA teams, and overseas. Corey Crowder, in particular, was hanging on. I'm not sure if he still is, but was hanging on in the NBA a couple of years ago.
Corey was a very strong ball player, very good. Nice move by Doug Ranky. Big sweeping hook across the lane.
That's a great move by Doug. Big time hook that time by Doug Rankin. You like to see that out of Doug.
And
get the ball in there, make that move.
Carlos Skinner did the best he could to try to stop that.
Hardest shot to block in the game, the hook in all of its variations, the jump hook, sky hook, whatever, hardest shot to block.
Doug Ranky draws the foul defensively.
Caught Doug that time on the hold, as you see there in the replay.
Mike Gray out of the lineup, but Herb Arnerson in, and it's one three-point shooter for another. Pat Murphy back into the lineup. Doug Ranke with his second foul. They don't want to rest him for a little bit before he could pick up a third quick foul.
And the big fella's played well thus far.
Willis Cheney looked a little bit like Andre Walton going down the line there.
Did what you're supposed to do as a driver to the basket. You go to the basket until someone stops you. If no one stops you, you keep going and get a layup like Cheney just got.
Jeff Smithy's in the lineup now for IPFW. Play on the wing, and there's a lot of shoving going on underneath it. Little misfortune there for the Mastodons, but you'll see a quick, and they pick off the pass. Andre Walton's going down against 5 purple shirts. We'll see what he can do. Pulls it back out. Jeff Smithy for a 3. Jeff's due, and he just can't draw the middle of that basket.
He didn't quite catch that ball in rhythm. The pass was kind of had a little arc on it, and you need, as a shooter, you need to catch that ball in a rhythm.
Willis Cheney puts up the 3, and he hits.
Now, Cheney caught that ball in the rhythm. Your mind has to adjust to a certain rhythm as that pass comes to you, and it's kind of a telepathic kind of a thing. And the last time, Smithy's mind was adjusted to a quicker, crisper pass, and he got the rainbow arc, and it put him out of his rhythm. And this time, Cheney had that rhythm going, a crisp pass. He got the crisp pass, and it's right there in the rhythm.
And Cheney is replaced in the lineup by Mike Gray, and again, another 1 3-point shooter for another. Scotty Simmons into the IPFW lineup for Tony Martin. And Kentucky Wesleyan with their largest lead at 3 points, 25-23.
Big possession right here for the Dons.
Andre Walton on the attack. Jeff Smithy out. The top. Back to Andre. Scott Simmons on the side. And the pass through was knocked out of bounds by Corey Parr, number 52 for Kentucky Wesleyan. Willis Cheney's going to come in and replace Herb Arnerson.
It's not easy to keep the lineup set with as much substitutions that are going on right now.
They just rotate those 3-point shooters, though. They've got 4 of them that are very good, and they keep 3 of them in the game at all times. And the Kentucky Wesleyan fans are kind of fair weather fans, aren't they? Things are going their way now, so they're getting a little more excited.
They're calling for a technical foul on Sean Gibson, and I'm sure they like nothing more than to get Sean Gibson out of the basketball game.
Yeah, that's he's a big threat to them.
Yeah, one of the premier players, if not the premier player right now in the Great Lakes Valley Conference.
And we're seeing one at the free throw line right now that's pretty good too. Carlos Skinner. First free throw is good.
And he has tremendous lift off the floor, as he just showed Sean Gibson on that great block.
Yeah. And Sean doesn't have tremendous leaping ability. He'll get up. He's strong. He'll get position.
Sean has a lot of those Kevin McHale duck under and around moves.
The IPFW offense at the moment sputtering just a bit, but there's an inside move.
Great pass.
And Pat Murphy puts it up. Can't get it to fall. Going to have those kind of shots sooner or later.
Great pass again. Murphy out of rhythm that time on the pass.
Jeff Smithy up to knock the ball out of the hands of Corey Parr. Kentucky Wesleyan will inbounds the ball underneath their own basket. traveling music. All right. And we see Rafe Young about ready to check back in for Kentucky Wesleyan. Again, a great outside shooter tonight. He's had good success. Last 7 or 8 minutes of play, Charlie, one of the big differences has been that Kentucky Wesleyan has not been turning the ball over like they did early in the game.
No, and they're getting shots, not always the greatest shots, but they're hitting them.
And Andre Walton, again, has broken the drought a bit for the Dons with the move down the lane.
The tempo right now, though, Dave, kind of working in Wesleyan's favor, kind of that slow, deliberate tempo where they can get set up for their three-point shot.
Yes, it is. And Sean Gibson hesitated that time. He's called for traveling. Interesting to see the replay on that. I don't really know.
I think he did drag. He did kind of drag that pivot foot. As I think we'll get a chance to see on the replay.
Well, pretty hard to see. It was about 3/4 of the court away from us. 3-second call by the referee.
And that wiped out a great move by Young.
Yes, it did. He must have caught a Panther napping in the lane. IPFW with a 3-point deficit here with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Need to come down and get some sharp offensive movement. 3-point play wouldn't hurt anything. But there again, the ball is tipped away. Murphy's having trouble a little bit hanging on to the ball tonight. But the defense is playing very good, both ends. Both ends. And there we see Mike Gray got a little lax with the ball, and Scotty Simmons came up with the steal.
Took his eye off of it, wanted to do something with it before he caught it.
Andre Walton penetrating, looking out front. Nice move by Sean Gibson, just didn't fall.
Skinner has a ton of rebounds already, Dave.
Yes, he does. 27-24, approaching the 1.5-minute mark here in the first half. This could be a lane call too if somebody doesn't move in it. But they muscle one in. Corey Parr.
Skinner had the presence of mind. He remembered the last time down the court, the 3-second call. He had the presence of mind to get out of there.
He jumped out. I'm not sure he was even out in time, but at least he was in terms of anything that was called. Scotty Simmons with the ball. Deep in the left court. Pat Murphy. Over to Jeff Smithy. Inside to Shane Gibson. Sean Gibson. Sean moves toward the bucket. Can't get it to fall. We'll see who he draws the foul against. It'll be either Corey Parr or Carlos Skinner. It's against Corey Parr.
I'm sure Sean Gibson has had these moves all of his career, but it just seems this year he's shown such an array of post moves and driving moves to the basket, and uses the left hand, as we see that, very effectively.
And that's only the first foul against the big guy, Corey Parr. Sean with 2. And he cans the first one. Needs to pick this one up, if at all possible here. 49 seconds to go in the first half. The excitement has certainly been here. Sean gets the nice roll on the free throw. 29-26. Wesleyan in the lead. Andre Walton exerting pressure. Full court. IPFW has been exerting that man-for-man pressure all night long. Wesleyan going to be content here to try to work the clock down for one last shot.
This is reminiscent of the 4 corners run by North Carolina.
Yeah.
and also UCLA at a time when they were doing very well.
Now, they can't quite run all the clock down. IPFW will have to get the ball back unless Wesleyan shoots and gets a score. Tony Martin with the foul on Willie Miller, but if there's this one guy you're going to foul, Willie's the guy.
Yeah, Willie not known for his prowess at the free throw line.
And the play comes with enough time for whomever will get the rebound will have an opportunity to get another shot. Willie Miller at the line for 2.
That may have been a little early that time on Divine's part. What you want to do there is run the clock down and give yourself just enough time to get a shot and then go for the rebound as Miller drains the first.
Nothing but net. Willie says there's nothing to this.
He knows the rims. He practiced on these.
That's right.
He played sparingly for the Mastodons a couple of years ago.
And there's time to get a good shot here. And there's a good shot. We'll take it. Yes. 30-28 will be the halftime score as Kentucky Wesleyan leaves the floor with a 2-point lead, but it's a little bit reversal of the game down at Kentucky Wesleyan a month ago, Charlie. IPFW left with the lead, but Wesleyan had hit the last shot.
And this is going to be another test for the Dons, a slow, deliberate pace, more of a half-court kind of game, a true test to see how great this Mastodon team is. We know they can run up and down for 40 minutes. Now it'll be a chance to see, can they play that slower, deliberate style of basketball game and not only stay in it, but come out of a win. And those last 3 minutes of the game, I keep talking about those, are going to be very key if this game continues to be as close as it is.
And I think it probably will, Charlie. Well, we see the score there. Kentucky Wesleyan 30, IPFW 28 at halftime. A tremendous ball game, and we have a full half of exciting basketball yet to go. We'll be back after these messages and your halftime presentations.
Welcome back to the IPFW Gates Sports Center here. 30-28 is our score here, and this College Cable Access Sports presentation is underwritten in part by grant from College Cable Access, Incorporated of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Charles Washington along with John Felsky, former IPFW Mastodon assistant coach here at IPFW. And John, what did you think about that first half?
Well, I tell you what, Charlie, you know, I came down here to see the big streak end, and I tell you what, if we could only convert some of our easier baskets in the second half, you know, Pat Murphy had some great passes from Sean Gibson that we just didn't convert. If we can make the easy baskets, hey, and guard the three-point shooters a little bit better, yeah, I can see a big Mastodon victory coming easily tonight.
Again, a lot of people may not realize a lot of those products that we see down there on the floor are down there in a large part because of your recruiting efforts, John.
Oh, I tell you what, Charlie, I look down there, I only see 3 strange faces, and I think 2 of them are walk-ons. Even last year's recruiting class, even though I wasn't here, the Marsnick kid and some of those other kids I helped bring in before I left and was involved with them as I was leaving. And, you know, hey, it makes me very proud to see the things that Coach Piaz and Dominion have been doing this year. And, you know, hey, I came back here because this is kind of like an alma mater of mine, you know, and I'm just hoping for a playoff berth and hopefully a GLVC championship.
And, John, I think you also have another product on the Wesleyan team.
Oh, yes. Willie Miller was a former Mastodon for about a semester or a little more than that. Fine young man out of Gary, Indiana. And as much as I'm rooting for the Mastodons, you know, Willie's was a longtime buddy of mine. You know, I brought him here, and mixed emotions when Willie goes up to shoot. You know, I've been telling some people he wasn't a very good free throw shooter, and all of a sudden he drops a couple against us in the first half. And I hate to say it, I like my boys in the blue and the white a little more than the purple, so I'll be rooting against them here in the second half.
All right, one last thing, John. What do the Dons have to do?
Oh, I say we got to control the tempo, and as long as we could get in a transition game, we didn't get many easy transition baskets. We had to work for everything we got. I think if we can get the ball out to Walton, Walton will dish it and give it up to everybody, and we'll be able to score and make this game an easy one, so we can coast home with a big Mastodon victory.
All right, thank you, John, and good luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you very much, Charlie. A pleasure being here.
Mishooked that time by Doug Ranke. Again, the second half underway here, 30-28 in favor of the Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers. Owensboro, Kentucky. Nice shot there, and Andy Lieber clears the rebound to Andre Walton. And Dave Skelton back with us from a halftime presentation. Dave, assistant coach there on the first IPFW Mastodon basketball team, and this is their 25th anniversary. Again, congratulations to you, Dave.
After 25 years, it takes you longer to get up those steps, Charlie. Doug Ranke with a great move inside. Ties this ball game up.
Ranke playing very well this evening.
There's going to be a foul against Kentucky Wesleyan's number 20, Michael Gray, as he was trying to shove for position.
And it looks like, Dave, we're holding our own in those stages. We held our own in the first 3 minutes very well, held our own in the last 3 minutes of the second half, and we started out stronger than the Panthers thus far in the second half.
And we need to keep that going for the next 18 minutes and 37 seconds.
Skinner again displaying that bounce off the floor, stealing the pass intended for Ranke from Gibson.
Sean that time may have tried to force one just a little bit in terms of getting that ball inside to Doug, because there were a lot of purple shirts around him. And then that time on the rebound, about 3 IPFW arms went after it and nobody could control it. So it's Kentucky Wesleyan ball underneath their own basket. And oh my. Among all the things you can call with all the contact that's available. Thought I heard somewhere, Charlie, that if it didn't give anybody an advantage, that there really wasn't any purpose in the call. So
that's a general unwritten rule, Dave.
To be applied when they feel like it. Good defense being played at the moment. IPFW in a sticky man-to-man. Michael Gray that time, as he attempted to make the shot fake, shuffled the feet just a little bit.
We have a halftime score.
And I don't think
the Iowa Hawkeyes 37,
Wayne Bolthouse didn't agree with that call. It's going to be a tough ball game, Charlie. It's going to go down the wire. I don't think anybody's going to be able to get a big lead out of this. But when it's over with, I'm sure the Mastodons will be very happy if it's just a 1-point margin in their favor.
Exactly, and I hope the referees don't play a part in it. Great
play. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Great display of athleticism that time by Andre Walton, getting up off the floor. First of all, to catch up with the very speedy Cheney on that play. And Sean Gibson, a heady play, trying to hit it off of the Panther player.
And the only problem was that Andre Walton had not had enough time to get back inside to establish his position inside the field. And again, a little touch foul.
Foul number 10, Andre Walton, his first, the team's second.
You get more than 6 feet away from the basket, and you can see a little touch foul out in the wide open, and they'll call it. And one thing to that, Dave, one thing coaches want to see, they want to see consistency. If you're going to call it close all game. If you're going to call it tight all game. Just so that at least teams get a chance to adjust and know what to expect from the guys in the stripes.
Nice knock away by Andy Liebert that time. And Itutis was on the end line when he recovered the ball that time. Looks like he's been clipped in the chin there a little bit, Charlie, sometime in the last week or so with a big bandage across the chin.
And in the past, he probably wouldn't have had to worry about that, but with the new rule instituted this year, any sign of blood and the player has to go out until that bleeding is stopped. And if it gets on your uniform, saturates your uniform, you have to get a new one.
And Andre Walton that time as he attempted to move down the lane. Willis Cheney gave him a little push. IPFW with the ball out underneath their own basket. Opportunity to take the lead here in the first half. And they will on that one. Andre Walton with a quick move inside.
So I think they can take advantage of that off of the normal offense, and where Andre rotates down to the post, I think the Dons can take advantage of that.
Yep. Big rebound by Sean Gibson. IPFW on the move very quickly this time.
That time, Andre got a little bit out of control. What the point guard has to do, you have to keep going until you get stopped. And that time, Andre got stopped. But what he did was he left the floor.
And if he could have pulled up about the free throw lane, might have been able to dish off then that time, too.
And that's the general rule. That's what you want your point guard or whoever is handling the fast break. You dribble down, generally stop at the free throw line and make a decision, either to go all the way or to dish off. And that time he made the wrong decision and he left his feet.
That's the third team foul against the Mastodons in this half. Wesleyan has 2. And we've played 3.5 minutes, Charlie, and not a lot of scoring, but there's been more for IPFW than there has for the Panthers until the three-pointer goes up. And as you say, when we attempt to clamp down.
So I think they can take advantage of that off of the normal offense, and where Andre rotates down to the post, I think the Dons can take advantage of that.
Yep. Big rebound by Sean Gibson. IPFW on the move very quickly this time.
That time, Andre got a little bit out of control. What the point guard has to do, you have to keep going until you get stopped. And that time, Andre got stopped. But what he did was he left the floor.
And if he could have pulled up about the free throw lane, might have been able to dish off then that time, too.
And that's the general rule. That's what you want your point guard or whoever is handling the fast break. You dribble down, generally stop at the free throw line and make a decision, either to go all the way or to dish off. And that time he made the wrong decision and he left his feet.
That's the third team foul against the Mastodons in this half. Wesleyan has 2. And we've played 3.5 minutes, Charlie, and not a lot of scoring, but there's been more for IPFW than there has for the Panthers until the three-pointer goes up. And as you say, when we attempt to clamp down inside, the outside stays open. We may just have to take our chances a couple of times on the inside and see what happens.
Lodgson hitting his first three-pointer of the evening. And the Dons had no three-pointers, 0 for 3 in the first half. And I don't think they've attempted any here in the second half thus
I
far.
don't think they have either, and you're right. They only took a scattered 3 in that first half, which is, again, unusual. But I think you can attribute that a bit to the Kentucky Wesleyan defense.
And they, of course, they lived by it. 5 of 10, 15 of their 30 points coming off three-point baskets.
Sean Gibson that time, as he attempted to drive the lane, was pushed, and I think in the act of shooting, yes, he will get 2 free throws. So Sean with an opportunity here to give the lead back to the Mastodons.
That was very close to being able to be called an offensive foul. Shane dipped the shoulder.
And Shane hits the first. We need a lot of that this second half, Charlie. If those free throws can be on target, and the defense be hard-nosed, and they just play hard for another 15 minutes and 44 seconds. This could be a historic outcome here tonight, should the Mastodons be able to stay with this. Tie ball game, 33-33. 15.5 minutes to go. Lots of action. Everybody's playing hard. Mike Gray with the ball, drives the lane. Comes up with the short jumper and he misses, but Willie Miller and just on sheer hustle alone, Willie Miller came up with the ball.
Willie playing well tonight, inspired basketball, and I couldn't see any reason why he would not play inspired basketball, playing against some of his old teammates.
Tony Martin into the lineup to provide a little extra muscle to compensate for Willie, because Willie's a big, strong kid.
And he's grown since he left Fort Wayne.
Yes, he has.
Up and out.
Andre Walton on the attack, quickly up the floor. Penetrated that time, got his own rebound. Inside to Sean Gibson. Sean up in it.
Andre Walton, such a strong rebounder from that guard position. Probably one of the best I've ever seen, from as small as he is and from the point guard position.
Tremendous vertical leap. And Mark Logston that time.
Is not only Walton's vertical leap, is that upper body strength that allows him to get up there and put the body on some, in many cases, bigger players and still go up to get rebounds, offensively and defensively.
He's the biggest 5'8" you'll ever see. There's a 5'10".
8.
And that's got to be a foul on Willie Miller, as Willie took a swat. IPFW with 35-33 lead. We played just a little over 5 minutes here in the second half. And IPFW has overcome that 2-point deficit at halftime and has taken a 2-point lead. And even though 2 plus 2 is 4, that's not a lot, not a big number. And Willie Miller's going to draw another one real quickly. Willie's got number 4 coming right up.
That could be a matter of Willie being so excited about playing here.
And the great play he made off just a little bit ago in the corner, and maybe he thought he could continue to get that kind of call.
He's been very active, to say the least, tonight.
But Jason Itutis is in the lineup, and here we get a pushing foul as the defense was holding Shane Gibson, I believe. Foul on number 20, Mike Gray, and that's Mike's third.
And again, it seems both teams have to adjust. Both teams, the fouls are being called pretty close right now, so teams have to adjust. It's going to be a matter of who adjusts the best.
Right. Herb Arneson in for Mike Gray. The difference here is they're both good outside shooters, 3-point shooters, but Herb is not nearly as quick as Mike Gray. Nice move into the lane by Sean Gibson. Shane Gibson. I can't get that right. One of the Gibsons. 37-33. Mastodons on top. Excitement level picking up. Fans getting into this game now. They want to see the defense keep those purple people eaters off of the board. And we saw a nice entry pass that time to Carlos Skinner, but the defense rotated around, stopped him from getting the shot off, but the foul was drawn.
And he was gathering that time to go up to bring the house down on the dunk, Dave.
The Thunder dunk was coming up. But Carlos will have to save that Thunder dunk for another day. Next week would be just fine. Carlos has had good success at the line tonight. And again, he connects. He is 5 for 5 tonight. Jason Itutis on the rebound, and that hurts because he puts it back in for 2.
The unconventional three-point play that time.
And number 11, Mark Logston, was riding Scotty Simmons all the way down the floor. The fans are finally, they're real happy with the call.
Yeah, I think we can attribute that. All those fans over there should have on stripes, Dave, because they got that call that time.
Yes, they did. And it took them about 60 feet down the floor to get it, but they got it.
But Logston, of course, did. He rode.
Scotty Simmons
He rode Simmons all the way down the floor.
And as you had pointed out earlier in the night, Scotty had the half step, just enough that he could keep that shoulder ahead, and the defender could not cut him off. And Scotty connects on the first free throw, ready to go for number 2. And it's long. IPFW again with the 2-point lead. Pressing man-to-man defense. Andre Walton and Scott Simmons covering the outside players, those who are most likely to be taking those long jump shots. There's a chance for 3 from our side. Let's see what happens, and it's there. And just listen, we don't need to say anything.
The first trifecta of the night for the Dons, and it couldn't have come at a better time, Dave.
And the big old barn is alive tonight, Charlie. Great crowd on hand. Arnerson wants to return the favor. Way up for a tip-in was Carlos Skinner, and Carlos earned that one.
He's got some lift, some bounce, ups, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Skinner has got it.
Scotty Simmons with the 3. Right there.
Our producer, Greg Smith, just added a little hang time. There are a few other adjectives we can add, but Skinner can do it.
Foul called that time on Pat Murphy. Carlos, as we see on the replay, got the defensive rebound, was fouled, and goes back to the free throw line.
Both teams are in the bonus right now, shooting the 1-and-1 until, of course, the 10th foul, and then the teams, whichever team reaches that, will be shooting 2 foul shots on each foul.
Carlos Skinner hoping to cut into a 41-38 IPFW lead at the moment, shooting the 1-and-1. And he got nothing but net. This is the last time at the line did he go 1 for 2, Charlie? Has he missed?
Yes.
Missed 1. Now 2. All right.
The last time, the rebound by Itutis.
He's going. That's right. Okay, I'd rather he hit that one. Let's keep Carlos shooting at the 50% level. And Andre Walton went right. And there's a travel. Because when you go down, there's no choice. And we may have seen Carlos. I don't know whether he stretched something or not. Looks like he's all right.
The Dons caught a break that time. Seems like someone kind of undercut Carlos a little bit. But they got out of there before the referee saw it, and the referee called a travel.
And I wouldn't mind seeing Carlos on the sidelines, but I don't want him to have to go there because of an injury. Hey, all right. 3 times, and we'll take it.
And Pat Murphy, Dave. Pat Murphy's having all kinds of problems underneath that basket there tonight. He's getting great shots, but he has to convert some of those.
Well, the main thing was they kept it up on the board, and they kept it in the hands of the white shirts until it went through. And we see Steve Devine, Mark Logston, his second of the half, I believe. And Mark's, again, one of their better three-point shooters.
He lined that up perfect, Dave. That looked real good going down, and I didn't want to say it, but I knew it was going in.
Pat Murphy went strong that time to the board, hoping to get Carlos off his balance. Great bucket by Pat Murphy. And that's what you got to do. You got to stay with it. He's missed 2 or 3 toughies in there, but he goes right back at it.
And that's great to see. On the next possession, goes right back to it.
And the crowd, again, getting very lively here. And Sean Gibson made sure that time that Jason Itutis did not come back with the Thunder dunk.
Now, we'll see here on the free throws, Dave. Gathering and preparing for the dunk this time could cost the Panthers points. As we see the replay here, Itutis has an easy shot. He just goes up, but he's gathering for the big Thunder dunk, and it could, in this case, cost.
Ate up extra time for him to get to the hoop.
Gave Sean Gibson enough time to not let this Panther crowd get into the game.
And that was Sean's second foul, as Sean gets a rest now. Into the lineup, Doug Reinke and Pat Murphy together for the first time tonight. Jason Itutis, perfect on the first free throw. Getting ready for number 2. Hopes to draw the Panthers within 1.
He's played well in the from the outset of the second half.
Sure does have baggy pants, though. And Jason's going to get a rest.
He got 2 points out of it, but IPFW would much rather see the 2 points coming quietly from the free throw line as opposed to rousing everyone on this Panther sideline on a dunk.
Don't let them get charged up. 45-44, IPFW in the lead, and the clock just ticked under 11 seconds to go, or 11 minutes to go. Doug Reinke with a big rebound on the miss by Shane Gibson. Scotty. Back outside to Scott Simmons. Andre Walton moving to the deep left wing. Oh, and Sean didn't get the pass even close to him. And it looks like Carlos Skinner's beginning to get maybe a little tired, but maybe not.
That was a matter of, as that ball went up in the air, a good deflection by Shane Gibson. But once the ball went up in the air, all you had basically, Dave, was a jump ball. And there's no way, as you see the replay here, that's a jump ball right there. And there's no way Shane's going to out-jump Skinner right there.
No time, no opportunity to swat it loose.
So it would have been probably better for Shane in that case to get some defensive position. Let Skinner catch the ball and get defensive position as opposed to swapping at the ball.
Shane gets a bit of a rest now as Andy Liebert comes into the IPFW lineup along with Sean Gibson back in. Pat Murphy out for a rest. Carlos Skinner at the line, and he misses. The front end of the 1-and-1. So the Dons
3 out of 5
keep the lead, and I never touched him, says number 11, Mark Logston. I just about knocked him to the other end of the gym, but I didn't touch him.
I can't believe he's arguing that call. He could have got time for that foul.
Michael Gray back in. Replaces Herb Arnerson. 3-point shooter after 3-point shooter parades past that official's desk down there. And we now have in the lineup for the Panthers, number 25, Rafe Young, 3-point threat. Number 14, Steve Devine, 3-point threat. Scotty Simmons at the line. First one is good. It's perfect. Kentucky Wesleyan also has number 20, Mike Gray, back in the lineup, 3-point threat. And then the 2 big guys down underneath, Corey Parr, number 52, and Jason Itutis, number 33.
Dave, we talk of the 3-point shooting of the Panthers, and as a team, they shoot very close to 40%.
Yeah, they're good.
As a team, and that's not bad.
IPFW with the full court pressure, although it's man-to-man more than it is any kind of a trap or zone play. Very sticky defense at the moment. Rafe Young. Short jumper on the baseline, and it's good as we approach the 10-minute mark.
Young's a good-looking player, Dave. He showed some great moves tonight.
Well, Kentucky Wesleyan has tremendous depth in the perimeter, Charlie. They just have a half a dozen guys that you can play 2 or 3 at a time, and whatever you're playing, it doesn't matter that much. And Rafe Young had time with the hustle to steal on the baseline, but he stepped on the inline. As again, Doug Ranke was just a little bit slow determining what to do with the ball. The longer he keeps it, the less the likelihood is that something good's going to happen.
Exactly. That gives the defensive players much needed time to react. Whereas if you make the shot, make the pass, make the good crisp pass for the good decision initially, the defense cannot react to it.
Carlos Skinner is on the Kentucky Wesleyan bench at the moment, getting a rest. Andre Walton, deep right corner, looking inside, can't find Doug Ranke. Sean Gibson on the outside.
Good defense that time by the Panthers. Good cutoff on the baseline.
They've been playing a good defense all night long. And Andre bounces it off of Jason Itutis. He dropped it down around Jason's feet, and that's a long way for Jason to reach down and get the ball. Andre with the short jumper, and I believe it was tipped by a defender for Jason Itutis missed the short jump shot. I swear he's going to lose his pants tonight. They're about to fall down past his knees, but that's his problem. And Andre hits the short jumper as he is fouled at the same time by number 14, Steve Devine.
Andre Walton playing a big game tonight, as we have to have from him to win this basketball game.
Carlos Skinner, Willis Cheney back in off of the Kentucky Wesleyan bench as Corey Parr takes a seat and Steve Devine takes a seat. Andre will go to the line to try to complete the three-point play. Opportunity to push that lead way up there to 4. And he does. If I'm not mistaken, that's about as big a lead as there's been either way tonight, yes. Charlie.
I think at one point it was at 5, but a 4 to 5 point lead is
that's right.
Is a big lead tonight.
Willis Cheney brings the ball up. Andre Walton on the defense. Wesleyan stacking things down low, getting lots of low picks and back cuts. Trying to work loose, and they try to get the three-pointer out to Rafe Young. Rafe can't get there. Mike Gray, IPFW's perimeter defense. And Sean Gibson, I think, got a block that time. Doug Ranke picked off the ball. Opportunity now for the Mastodons. Bring the ball out, set up their offense. All right. Good hustle. Shane Gibson came up with the scramble and the loose ball. Andy Liebert with the ball, and he better move it because it counts on. Andy, a young man who 3 nights ago was in the hospital with what they thought might be I think a kidney stone. Just lots of internal pain. I don't think it turned out to be a kidney stone, but he's back, giving it all.
If he's out there playing and playing as well as he has been, he definitely didn't have a kidney stone.
No, you're right. Andy with the first one, and it's good. Need to take advantage of every opportunity. We're under 8 minutes, second half. Great Lakes Valley Conference basketball at its best, Charlie.
The number 1 rated conference.
Doesn't get the second one to fall.
Number 1 rated conference in Division II basketball.
The best there is in the country. Division II.
Great Lakes Valley Conference.
And the 2 best teams in the conference right here. Can't get any better than this. Well, I guess there is another one that's pretty good from Southern Indiana, but we took care of them Thursday night. Carlos Skinner on the ball on the outside. I believe I'd let him keep it out there.
Yeah, if you can push him out there, that's where you like to keep him.
And if not, Mike. And Doug Ranke that time got the rebound position. And the Dons with a 5-point lead in the ball. Coming down, looking up, set their offense.
Here's a big chance to take control of this basketball game right now with the 7-point lead.
Yep. I'm not real sure what happened there, except that IPFW got a basket. And Wayne Boldinghouse definitely wants a timeout for the Panthers of Kentucky Wesleyan. And this crowd is alive. And a crowd it is, Charlie. As we look around, there are not many sections of the gym that don't have somebody sitting there and hollering and whooping.
And at that time, I think, again, the Dons got another break.
And we'll be right back after these messages. Well, welcome back to the Gates Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Tremendous basketball game underway, Charlie. We see the score with IPFW in the lead, 53-46.
In the background there, we see a lot of threes there.
The threes are hanging up there. There's more of those on the Wesleyan side, but that's okay. They're 7 points down. Great experience here tonight. Nice crowd. Everybody's into this. The big crowd from Kentucky Wesleyan. It's nice they make that trip. So far, they've been quieter than usual. Willis Cheney with the ball.
A 7-point deficit to do that to you,
It
Dave.
will a little bit. And again, Doug Ranke was not about to give up the uncontested layup. So Doug's going to make Mike Gray go to the line.
And that's not a bad foul. You try to block that shot. Don't just give up any easy buckets. And it wasn't. It's kind of a close play there, as you see on the replay.
Yes, it was. If anything, the only problem with that is that it's foul number 4 on Doug Ranke for the evening. But Doug played Thursday night quite a stretch with 4 fouls.
And played well.
Played well.
Very well in the second half.
Pat Murphy likewise. So between Murphy and Doug Ranke, they've got to finish this ball game and finish it strong.
It kind of eases the pain a little bit of the loss of John Hanstrider.
Yes.
But Hanstrider's 5 fouls are certainly 5 fouls you can use down in the paint at any time. A player of his caliber down in the paint.
And Michael Gray that time cashes in on both free throws for the Wesleyan Panthers. And we have a whistle. And it would appear, I don't know whether there's a bloody nose, just poked in the eye by Willis Cheney. Unusual call when the play is stopped for a defensive player.
Again, I guess the main criteria there is there was not an advantage. No one was going to the basket.
That's right. And safety of the players is certainly of utmost importance. And we see there a foul that time called on Carlos Skinner. Carlos has number 3. Doug Ranke will go to the line. Carlos Skinner and other players like him, certainly one of the reasons why the Great Lakes Valley Conference is the best in the country in Division II. He's an excellent ball player. Doug Ranke hits the first. .6:27, 6 minutes and 27 seconds.
Doug shooting for his 12th point here, and
Doug hits 2. Excellent job by Doug Ranke. Excellent job by the Mastodons tonight. Pressure out front by Andre Walton on Willis Cheney. Mike Gray out front looking to get loose to shoot his 3-point shot. But Sean Gibson challenged him, and the Mastodons came up with the ball. No need to be in a big hurry now. Time's in your favor. Work the ball. Get the shots you want, Dons. This is your night. Pass inside, and a foul against Michael Gray as Shane Gibson attempts to go up, and we get a technical foul. His demonstration in the end zone was just a little bit more than should have had. And 80% of the crowd loves it.
Yes, and that's something you can't do. Michael Gray, you cannot upstage the referee.
No.
He really didn't say much, but that's upstaging the referee, and they do not like that.
And that will be a personal foul as well, which means that'll put either, I'm not sure how many that is. At halftime, the young man had well, he had no personal fouls at half, so I don't know how many he has now. But both the personal foul and the technical foul count as one of his 5 fouls for the game. And that is foul, disqualifying foul. All the more reason for the players now to not demonstrate on the floor. The Kentucky Wesleyan coaches are obviously upset. There's nothing to debate, fellas. The call is done. You can work on the next one, perhaps. Shane Gibson with a tremendous opportunity here, Charlie, for some free throws. He'll be shooting 2, I think, on the personal foul, and then 2 on the technical will be available.
It'll be 2 either way, because if even if it was on the floor, it's a 10th foul.
You're right. So we're going to see 4 free throws by the Mastodons. And even more importantly, they get the ball.
Exactly. Looking good right now.
8-point lead for the Dons. Going for 9, and there it is. Now we'll get a fresh shooter up there to shoot the technical foul. And the Kentucky Wesleyan players must back off.
You may have wanted to see Shane stay up there in his rhythm, but it doesn't make a difference as Simmons drains it.
10-point lead, going for 11. And 11 is there, 59-48. The crowd is alive.
It's very important.
As important as anything else, we have IPFW getting the ball. They have the ball, an 11-point lead, a 45-second shot clock, and 5 minutes and 55 seconds to play. Shane Gibson that time didn't like what he saw, particularly in terms of the setup to get the ball in bounds, so wisely calls a timeout. Channel 6 is now accepting applications for underwriting the televising of IPFW sports events and other programs. For more information about how your business or organization can utilize this opportunity, call the Channel 6 office during business hours at 481-6582. An evening so far, Charlie, the likes of which Fort Wayne, IPFW, the GLVC has rarely seen. The Mastodons and the Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers just going at it toe-to-toe.
Again, great chance right now. Very important for the Dons to control the tempo from this point. You know they're going to come at you hard on the defensive end. You know they're going to come at you hard with the 3-point shots on the offensive end. Very important for the Dons not to get caught up in that and to take a deliberate approach. They've gotten this league with a pretty much a deliberate approach. Stay with that approach. Keep the tempo in their favor.
Inbound to Andre Walton, somewhat uncontested. And the Mastodons now set up, and Kentucky Wesleyan looks like they will now go into a trapping defense. And there could have been a foul, but there wasn't. Jason Itudis that time got away with attempting to steal. Down deep to Sean Gibson. Over to Scotty. Deep 3-point shot by Shane Gibson, and he buries it. And Shane is alive, as is the gym and as is IPFW. 62-48. 5 minutes, 20 seconds on the old time clock. And it can't move fast enough. Inside rebound by Doug Reinke. Inside of Carlos Skinner. Andre Walton with the ball. Coming down, ready to set up the offense for the Dons. And they're going to get this down inside of 5 minutes.
Huge bucket. Huge bucket that
bucket
time.
Is right. Sean Gibson out front, helping to control the ball. Sean's a little taller. He can see things a little better. Scotty Simmons with the... Scotty missed the shot. Shane Gibson contested the rebound. Jason Itutis knocked it out. So the IPFW Mastodons with a fresh shot clock, practically fresh, 43 seconds to inbound the ball underneath their own basket.
Shane Gibson coming up very large tonight, 16 big points.
Shane is pumped. Ball into Andre Walton in the corner. Andre drives the lane, and he's going to circle back out. Spreading the floor, keeping the ball moving with penetration toward the basket. Shane Gibson. Shane with the miss. Jason Itutis with the rebound. Doug Ranke knocks it out of bounds. So Kentucky Wesleyan now inbounds the ball, and we're under 4.5 minutes to go. 62-48. IPFW in the lead. Tough defense. Arneson turns down a three-point shot opportunity. It's interesting. Jason Itutis looking for the inside. Couldn't get it. Willis Cheney drives, shoots up the small jump shot, and gets it to fall. Good move by Willis Cheney.
You have to give the Panthers credit. They aren't just looking to throw up three-pointers. They're looking for the best shot available.
Right. And they've been here before. They've played games like this. It's going to be tough. They're not ready to give up. It isn't over. Doug Ranke dribbles out front. IPFW going to have to penetrate and go for, keep the offense moving enough that they can go for a score. And there might be one. Sean Gibson was grabbed as he went down the lane, fouled by Herb Aronson. Sean will go to the line. Shane Gibson, one of those guys, number 41. I'm not the least bit excited, Charlie.
Big game, not only for the season, this team particularly this season, but for IPFW Mastodon history.
You're right. It's 3 minutes and 42 seconds, and the first one around and out, no good. Okay, Sean, it's history now. Get this one. Get us off the 62. Keep us moving upward. 62-50 with 3:42 to play, and that one long, hard off of the back of the rim. Kentucky Wesleyan down and quickly with the three, and it's no good. Rebound, Sean Gibson.
It's
Big
Scott
rebound.
Simmons, but smartly held it up. Points are not the main thing you're looking for right now.
Well, the nice thing about Scotty being down the floor was it kept the defense from Kentucky Wesleyan spread. There's a mugging going on out there right in front of that poor old gray-haired man who can't see. And the foul is drawn on Rafe Young. He fouls Scotty Simmons.
And as we look out there on the floor, Dave, we have 4 seniors and a junior. So we don't expect to see very many mistakes, crucial mistakes out of this Mastodon basketball team. They will take care of the team and take the best shot possible. As we saw a couple of times, we've passed up shots that normally you would take, but in this stage of the basketball game and in these particular situations, points are not the most important thing right now.
And these guys also know that they've been in games before that with 3 minutes to go and there's been a 12-point deficit, and you have to keep playing.
Sure you do.
You got to play the game. You got to play it to win, not play it to lose. Or playing it not to lose, or playing it, you just keep playing. Scotty Simmons hits the first free throw, and he gets two big ones, 64-50. And that clock is just about ready to tick down under 3 minutes to play. And there it goes. Kentucky Wesleyan on the attack, looking for that outside shot, looking for a lot of... And Doug Ranke drew another one of those fouls that I guess if he'd known he was going to get it, he probably would have gone on up and tried to contest Carlos Simmons.
Once a player gets that kind of position on you, go ahead and let him have those 2 points, and we can ill afford to lose a Doug Ranke this time. He's played a great basketball game, and that's his 5th foul.
Carlos Skinner, tremendous ball player, as we've said all night long, got the basket. He'll be shooting a free throw. But in the meantime, we wait for the replacement as Doug Ranke has fouled out. Doug goes over to encourage his players, saying, guys, hang in there, let's go with it. And Pat Murphy can do the job.
And the thing we can do, we can replace one senior with another senior, so you still have that senior savvy in the basketball game. And Ranke played a great basketball game tonight, Dave. No question about it. Good to see the big fella have a good game tonight.
2 minutes and 50 seconds. You know what they don't want to let happen here would be if he misses. Don't let the Purple People Eaters rebound it, but Carlos scores. Ball inbounds to Sean Gibson. Over to Pat Murphy. And Pat knew he didn't want to get fouled. That's all right, Pat. Step up there, big guy, and hit two.
And that's a fairly smart play to foul someone coming in cold off the bench on the part of Kentucky Wesleyan.
And although Pat is not one of the leaders of our free throw shooters on this team, he's up there with an opportunity to score.
And we could be in day for a long 2 minutes and 44 seconds if this pace continues with the fouling.
But he can certainly quiet them right here. And we'll take it. Nobody said they had to be pretty, Pat. They just have to go in. Great job, big guy. Go for two.
It'll be a swish in the box score tomorrow.
That's right. 2 in a row. All right. 66-53. 2 minutes, 43 seconds. Kentucky Wesleyan patiently down. They're not panicking, Charlie. They're there, and they know they've got those three-point shots that they can go up with. And we just can't do anything to block a shot on that big guy without a call being called.
Again, he's been in the right place at the right time so many times tonight. The ball hits the rim and just falls straight down into his hands.
But he's in the right place, and he knows what to do with that ball.
And that foul should not be on Shane Gibson, as we saw the replay. Some of the other players may have gotten him. He's got a bump from Lawrence Jordan, one of our former players here.
I think Lawrence is getting ready to celebrate. Carlos Skinner to the line.
That looked like a good block up top by Shane Gibson.
Yeah, it certainly did. Carlos Skinner hits the free throw. Brings the Panthers back within 12. Carlos missed 2 or 3 earlier in this half, but he's come back to the point where he's getting them to drop and roll. 66-55, 2 minutes, 32 seconds. Great full court pass. Murphy picks it off, hits the reigning Shane Gibson layup, foul, free throw coming. And again, this crowd erupts, Charlie. It just erupts.
That's almost an ill-advised pass by Gibson to Murphy, but great turnout. Great turnout. You love to see that, and that could be, that's one nail.
That's a nail.
That's a nail in the coffin.
There's another one. Well, the element of surprise sometimes, Charlie, is as good as what you would expect common sense to provide for you. Willis Cheney that time, almost unmolested down the lane. And they had a flip away that time, no foul called. Very kind performance by the old gray-haired man with a striped shirt down there. Foul on Carlos Skinner. Pat Murphy challenged him. And Pat will go back to the line, and he'll have 2.
And I like what the Dons are doing. They're taking advantage. Some people would say, no, don't make that pass, bring that ball right back out. But in this case, this is the kind of team that the Dons are, and you have to take advantage of those situations when they come up.
Absolutely. They're taking it to him. Pat misses his first free throw, has a second opportunity.
But there is an argument for the other side when you miss the free throws with the clock stopped.
Follow through, Pat. Get it in there. Oops, air ball. All right. 2:12 on the clock. 12-point lead on this board for the Mastodons. Willis Cheney down quickly. And the clock about ready to tick down under 12 minutes. And the three-point shot was drilled.
And at 9 points, with a little bit over 2 minutes to go, this game is not over.
Oh, it's not over. We're going to have to hit free throws, going to have to keep performing. Well, 69-60, Charlie, with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left in this game. And as I'm sure the viewers can hear, the crowd is alive, including the Wesleyan crowd. They've seen their guys play enough times. They know it's they won't quit. But the Mastodons tonight have had as good a support as you could ever see.
Exactly. They're not, one thing I can tell you, Dave, they're not too used to seeing their Panthers down 9 points with a little bit over 2 minutes to go.
Right.
And I know a little bit about that from experience.
And I suspect this time, Charlie, we'll see that maybe Pat Murphy will not be in a prime pass receiving position, although maybe he will. But
in fact, he's not even in the game.
You're right, he's not. And he might come back in if there is a foul and a need for rebounding prowess. But we've got our 5 best free throw shooters in the lineup right now.
What you could see here, Dave, as we see that patented 2 men out of bounds play by the Mastodons, what you could see is offense, defense. Offensively, you want some ball handlers and free throw shooters in there. Defensively, you may see Murphy on the defensive end for rebounding purposes.
And the Dons working the clock. And we get the foul, this time called against number 4, Willis Cheney. Sean Gibson will go to the line. Sean Gibson hits the first free throw, gets that back up to a 10-point lead. He hits the second for an 11-point lead. So the Dons back on top. Minute 40. Wesleyan quickly down. Willis Cheney penetrates, dishes off, hits the 3 to Rafe Young. And they're not dead. They can do that. The penetration closes and seals off the lane and opens up the outside, and maybe Andy Piazza will like this timeout perhaps as much as Wayne Boldinghouse, because he'll have an opportunity to point out the fact that at this stage of the game perhaps 2 points is better than 3.
Exactly. What you might even see, Dave, is kind of a matchup, maybe a matchup zone here. It might not be a bad strategy coming out of this timeout. Switch things up a little bit because they're getting too many outside shots. That's what you don't see. You don't want to see any points, but you definitely don't want 3 points. And on the other hand, the Panthers have only one more timeout, so they can only do that one more time.
That's right. And from that point on, then the clock is going to run. Well, 71-63. Tremendous basketball game here in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. IPFW on top of the Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers. A minute 32 to go.
And everybody on the floor for the Panthers right now is a threat, except maybe for Skinner, and he's in there for rebounding purposes. Right. Other than that, they have 4 other perimeter players that can stick the 3-pointer with consistency.
And Skinner has the 4 fouls that he's carrying on his back also. Jeff Smithy, and Jeff is fouled. Jeff's a good free throw shooter. Well, the 92 ticks are down to 90. And Jeff Smithy will step to the line. He'll shoot 2, and that's an advantage, I think, to the team with the lead at this point in time. This new rule for 2 free throws on every foul after 10. And we've certainly been above 10 on both teams.
Sure, yeah, it's a big advantage for the team with the lead, but the downside of that is the rule has not done what it was designed to do initially, and that is to speed up games, deterring
cut off the foul.
Yeah, deterring teams that are down in the scoring column to make fouls just to stop the clock.
Jeff Smithy for number 2, and he hits them both. And we have that lead back up to 10 points. And there we see the defensive move now. Pat Murphy in defensively for Jeff Smithy. Minute 30. Andre Walton defending against Willis Cheney. Willis is going to want to, he stops and pulls down the 3-point shot, misses, and Scott Simmons with the big rebound, and the foul against Herb Arnerson will send Andre Walton to the line.
Big free throws. A lot of teams use that 10-point as a barometer. If you're down or if you're up, a lot of people just seem to pay a lot of attention to that. And these 2 free throws can put you up 12.
And again, the fact that he will have 2 no matter what. Andre, a good free throw shooter. A little hard off the back of the line.
And the Dons have nobody. Now they just added Shane Gibson, 1 against 4.
In to rebound as Andre looks for number 2. Little string music, nothing but net for Andre. 11-point lead. Foul on the floor. Andre Walton fouls Willis Cheney as he was attempting to drive for the basket.
Right now the Panthers have one game plan. That's to give the ball to Cheney, have him penetrate. He goes all the way if Walton can't stop him. He also has the capability of shooting that three-pointer. But what he's going to do is drive, hope he can draw some defenders, some IPFW Dons coming in to help, and then dish out to those other three-point shooters on the court for the Panthers.
Willis Cheney at the line. First free throw is good. Willis for number 2. Big rebound by Scott Simmons. And there's a foul. And I like sending Scotty to the line. The lead stays at 10 on the missed free throw by Willis Cheney. Scott Simmons will go to the line to shoot 2. 74-64. 1 minute and 8 seconds. I think that means 68 ticks of the clock, Charlie.
You see a picture of Coach Andy Piazza there momentarily.
He's not ready to light up the cigar yet, but he will soon, hopefully. Scotty Simmons.
He's been ready for a few years.
Yes, he has.
But he may actually get the chance tonight.
But he hasn't been ready nearly as long as some of the rest of us have.
Exactly.
11-point lead. The clock is just about to tick under 1 minute to play in this half. This game, as Willis made the drive, missed the layup that time, was rebounded by Shane Gibson. Scotty Simmons again with the ball, and Scotty is fouled again. And it's beginning to look a little better for the blue and white.
1 and 18 won't look very good in anybody's book, but it's going to look awfully good to see that 1 go up there.
It looks a whole lot better than 0 and 19.
That goose egg's been there for a long time.
And the chant is striking him up in the crowd as Scott Simmons hits the first. 76-64, 12-point lead.
I don't think Scott, if he has any more than 1 field goal, but he's hit a ton of free throws tonight.
Yes, he has. And he hit those 2 big technical free throws. And if you go back to a kind of turning point, Charlie, that technical on that foul gave IPFW the opportunity to stretch the lead just a bit.
And Scotty Simmons is going to go back to the free throw line.
And the crowd is beginning to sense it this time. And the little old guy with the inverted megaphone down here that likes to pound it on the seat can pound it all he wants to, because it's going to be a long ride back to Owensville.
And those people who have seen it can say they saw history. February 6th. The Dons.
Charlie, I can remember doing a game 3 or 4 years ago when Lewis University also had the hex on IPFW. They'd beaten us something like 9 or 10 times. We'd never beaten them. And I remember that game. It was televised from the other side of this gymnasium. But it was a thrill. I think this one tops it. 79-64.
Panthers' longtime nemesis.
And they're drawing air balls now, although there was a tip pass. That's okay. Let them have another one. The monkey is going to be dead. And he hits 3, but the clock will roll. The clock will roll. Cuts the lead to 12. And Shane Gibson is quickly fouled by number 11, Mark Logsdon. Take nothing away from the Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers, Charlie. They are a good ball club.
Yeah, they're a very good basketball team, Dave, but the Dons have yet to lose on this floor here. Yet to lose in the Hilliard Gates Sports Center.
Absolutely.
Undefeated.
And who knows, maybe if things should continue and there would be a regional site determined, perhaps this would be a good place to play that, do you think?
I think so. Maybe not enough seats in here to for 3 or 4 teams to come in here.
Shane Gibson.
But again, I know the Dons would love to play here.
Well, Charlie, it's been just an absolute pleasure to watch this team in the last 10 days, 8 days, what have you, because they've had 3 contenders to play in a row. Every time they had to be up and ready to play. There was going to be no easy one, and they're going to come away with 3 big, big wins, and the crowd is ready to celebrate. And there we go. The roof goes off of the top. The monkey is off the back. Congratulations, Mastodons. Congratulations to all those guys who preceded this, including Charlie Washington.
This is great to see. A lot of people have suffered to see this day.
How sweet it is. Shane Gibson, Sean Gibson jumps on Coach Piazza's back. And Charlie, we talked just a little bit ago, the Dandy Don tonight is the Dandy Dons.
The whole team.
The whole kit and caboodle. What a sight. They won't want to leave the floor for quite a while, probably, Charlie.
And I'll go down and see if I can get some words in edgewise against this exasperated.
Maybe all you'll have to do is just hold the mic and let them talk.
I think so.
We'll be back after these messages. Well, needless to say, tonight, we at IPFW are pleased to be able to bring you telecasts of NCAA athletic competition. And you don't see any better than you saw tonight. We hope you've enjoyed the show and the excitement, all the hoopla here tonight of intercollegiate sports from IPFW. To provide such programs, we need your support. With the help of many volunteers, we're able to produce these programs at a relatively low cost. But your contribution will help to defray the production costs not covered by Channel 6 budget. The College Cable Access Center invites you to invest in quality college programming by sending your contributions to Channel 6 at IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805. And now we direct your attention down to the floor for the Dandy Don of tonight, the entire IPFW Mastodon team and coaching staff. Charlie, down to you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's pandemonium here. The Dons have gotten the monkey off the back. 1-18. That one looks mighty good right now. Pandemonium. If I can get a few words here, Sean Gibson, come over here. 8 games, 4 years, 2 per year. How's it feel, baby?
I can't explain it, man. I can't explain it. It's we've been working for this so long. We've come so close in the past, and we just came out tonight, played as hard as we can play, and tonight it was good enough, you know. But this team's really starting to gel and just play our rear ends off, and all the guys played well tonight, you know. Not just the guys in the games, the guys in the bench helped us too, you know. They contributed, and we're just happy, elated with this victory.
Great. Can I get Shane Gibson in here? Shane, if there would have been one Dandy Don player of the game, it would have been you. You had some big buckets, big free throws, and played some great defense. You said you had to get going in the second half, and boy, did you get going.
I guess I was just lucky enough that finally they let me have a few shots. Earlier they wouldn't let me have anything. They started keying down a lot on Doug and Sean, and thank God they were able to go in. That's about all I can say.
Great job tonight. Can we get Doug Rank in here? Doug, big fella. Big game tonight. A lot of big blocks, a lot of big defensive plays. Great offensive plays. You played very well. You and Sean Gibson been here 4 years. Again, first win. A lot of people have suffered because of these Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers. Myself, for one, great win tonight.
Thank you very much. It's a great feeling to finally come after 4 years and beat these guys. We've been waiting a long time. We've expected to beat them a lot of times, but finally we did it. It's a good feeling, especially here at home.
All right, Andre Walton, get in here, big fella. This is the man that makes it all happen from the point guard position. Andre Walton played a great floor game tonight, great defense, a lot of big rebounds, and a lot of good inside buckets.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Dana, a lot of big buckets, man. What I'm proud of, man, we kept our intensity level up. John, one is hurt, and he kept the bench going. They kept cheering for us, and we didn't let down the last 10 minutes.
Great. Let me get John Honstrider in here, big fella, missing from the lineup tonight. How's it feel? Big John, I know you would love to be in uniform tonight playing, but how's it feel?
I'll tell you what, the guys on the bench just contribute so much, and the fans are just great. And just the fan support alone was enough to get these guys going.
All right. Hey, let's see who else we can get here. Scott Simmons played a great game tonight from the free throws line. Get in here, Scott. How you doing, Scotty? I'm not sure if you had any buckets tonight. Maybe one bucket, but you had a lot of big free throws.
Yeah, well, you know, I looked to score, but they were fouling before I got the chance a lot of times, so I took it to the free throw line and ended up making them.
All this may be kind of new to you. This is your first year here at IPFW, and I know you have read, and a lot of the guys have talked to you, what's been going on with these Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers. 0-18 tonight. Tonight you're a major contributor to this big win tonight.
Well, I think a lot of it was all talk. I mean, when I came here, we were like, you know, Kentucky Wesleyan, we got to beat them. This is our year. And I knew that, you know, it was a good opportunity to help this team out so we could beat them. We should have beat them the last time.
Great. Well, I'm going to let you go, Scott. You can get down with the rest of the players and start some celebrating, some post-game celebrating. Take care. But before I go, let me get another senior and junior here. Andy Liebert and Jeff Smithy.
How you doing?
How you guys doing?
By far the biggest win I've ever been a part of in my life. Super.
All right.
Super win.
Jeff Smithy, your role has diminished this year a little bit. But the great person that you are, you've accepted that role and come in and you hit some big free throws tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to come off the bench to when you're cold like that, but I've passed just practice and everything. I just felt confident, and it was time to step up and do my part. And as long as we win, hey, it doesn't matter how much we play.
Charlie, that's what makes this team so great. We all know our role, and we got great chemistry. We've been together for so long. We got 7 seniors. And Jeff was there the first year I got here, and we just had great chemistry, and we all know what we have to do in order to win, and we do it.
And that's a great statement. I saw you had 4 seniors and a junior on the floor down the stretch, and you played well, made the decisions that you had to make. Guys, I'm going to let you go and get into the post-game celebration. Congratulations, guys.
All right, thanks, Charlie. Thanks,
Charlie Washington, again, the Mastodons have gotten the monkey off their back, have beaten the Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers. The work is not done. We still have some big conference games to go. Again, congratulations to Coach Andy Piazza. A lot of people have suffered, and that suffering is over for the moment, but we still have work to do. And now back to you, Dave.
Well, here at the Gates Sports Center at IPFW campus, history in the making took place. The IPFW Mastodons beat the Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers in a tremendous basketball game. The fans enjoyed it. They're still hanging around. They're soaking up every jubilant minute of it, and it's an absolute thrill to have been a part of it. This college cable access sports presentation is underwritten in part by a grant from the Cable Access Incorporated of Fort Wayne, Indiana. For Charlie Washington, this is Dave Skelton. Thank you and good night.